Hey, what's going on, guys? Donnie coming to you from Masao, Japan. It's going to be day 4 of the lockdown build and everything. So today I'm going to focus on cleaning up all of the accessories, the junk, but I just had to put stuff out there and see what I got and everything. So I got the turbos, everything, man. Even though, like I say, this build is going to be kind of like a temporary placeholder, I can't tolerate like dirt and stuff like that. So got to get that stuff cleaned up. And also let me go ahead and put this thing on. So outside of that, I'll be also processing the oil pans. So all the guys that do know, so here's the RB20 and for this I actually be having a outside source coming to pick it up. We'll maintain, distance. He'll be outside and everything. I'll be dropping it off. He'll come pick it up and everything, and get this thing processed and everything. The last couple of times I did one of these, I pretty much like cut it piece by piece, and that shit sucked. So I'm gonna have my guy, he's gonna bandsaw this whole thing up because I don't have a bandsaw in shop. So one here is in my hand right here, I have the heater core hose system for the RB26. One thing I'll work to reduce on my engines, as you can see, a lot of space here when you don't have that stuff there. Normally get your knock sensors and things right there that you could do maintenance. So normally, like I say, this will go here, it will wrap around and do all that stuff. What I do is I work to get rid of all this crap. One thing I don't use is this guy right here, which is the stock oil cooler. It's water goes through here, passes through here, and it cools the oil, but it's kind of an old system, redundant. And then this is how it looks. Let me take it off here real quick for you. All right, so you got that guy off. So here's the block right here. It's really bulky, really big. And if you're gonna run a water cooler, this stuff is really redundant. You don't need it. This guy I used to use a lot. This is RB20 junction block, and these used to be 90 bucks for these guys. Let me go ahead and toss it down there. These used to be 90 bucks from RB20 and the other RB engines for the RB20. So I used to get these. Of course, that goes in place, replaces that. You will have essentially this lug right here that goes in a block that bolts onto here, like so. Or if you want to go directly to the block, you want more space, you can just run this part number right here, which is this guy right there, and you just screw it into the block this way, and oil filter screws in there. Of course, you got to make sure you get this gasket and all that stuff off, which I will do. Get all that stuff off, then you go there, and again, this goes straight to the block. Take this part out, so like so. This guy goes right here, and that bolts on there. From there, of course, you can add your You got like oil filter stuff you can add onto there and everything, so you get rid of a bunch of stuff there. So essentially you get rid of all that big thing there to this guy right here, and get rid of that. What I do is I loop these two lines right here, pretty much to help circulation from front to the back of the block, and I already welded this guy shut right there. So I got pretty much, it'll be one line here and an oil filter, so all the stuff here will be open. So definitely look at getting rid of that stuff. That's a little tip I got for you guys today. If you're new to the channel, you notice I got a lot of RBs here. RB is definitely my favorite engine. It's definitely cool to have a plethora of engine. I got this RB came from my R32, which I sold this R32 right here about 5 years ago, 6 years ago maybe. I think 5.5, 6 years ago, and I just got it back. So these both belong to the same person. That was going to the States and everything. So this RB is kind of crazy how it works. This RB I sold to the person, and this RB goes to that car, turbo setup and everything right here and everything. So just gonna borrow this crank sensor real quick from there. Cam sensor, sorry about that. So wrapping up day number 4, and actually it's gonna be number 4 and 5. I know I said 4 at the beginning of the video, but pretty much I merged 4 and 5 together because yesterday wasn't really eventful enough to post a video. So anyway, just move right along. Pretty much with the engine, I got everything assembled. Again, for the guys who used to have seen me, you guys know I always run the single turbo setups, but again, for this engine, for those who are just new to the videos, I'm only gonna have this for probably maybe a year or so, or maybe less than a year. While I work the logistics to get the Barra engine in, and this is going to go to another car. So RB is still my thing. I just want to usher in a different engine to Japan, which is the Ford Barra engine, which nobody is using to my knowledge over here. So I want to be the first to get on that. So one thing you'll see in the video a lot, the guys who are just getting into racing, the guys who are pretty much driving race cars on the street, you got to sacrifice a little bit of comfort for performance. And for this particular car, I don't use heater core. So as you can see under the manifold, you'll notice that in a succession of the videos here, you'll notice that under my intake manifold is very easy to work under. I only have one line pretty much looping the thermostat to the rear of the block just to help cooling flow a little bit. And I have one loop line for the air box line that I deleted. I normally weld that shut, but it's actually cool to leave it open because you can do cool stuff with it later on. So I left it open and just looped it with a line. So a lot of things you see me doing today is just pretty much deleting redundant items, because when you're racing, the less things you have, the less hose clamps, the less hoses you have, the better it's going to be on the track. And if you look at any Formula Drift or D1 top level cars, they're very minimum, most of them. And the guys that tend to have a lot of problems are the guys that just have too many gadgets. So, you know, it's one of those things where it's cool to do your own research, do your own installs, and see what works for you, because picking and pulling whatever everybody else uses doesn't really work. I got my own system I developed pretty much now over 20 years. It works well for me. And going into the FD, I talked about a little bit before, going into the FD and everything and getting back into competitive drifting. I can build a wild car, but it's just not feasible to maintain one of those. And I think, I know I have the skills to do a lot more with less, meaning I'll conserve tires, I'll conserve parts. And I mean, in Japan, pretty much D1, you can get away with 550, and that's pretty base. Anything under that kind of, you're not gonna really be able to keep up because the car's just crazy fast. But for FD, you can have around about 550, 580 to 600 as well, and do pretty well. So I'm pretty much targeting. Again, like I told you guys, I'm going backwards a little bit. I'm going to target D1 lights and just get the seat time back, and then go from there and everything. So again, engine was assembled. The oil pan is off at James Gilson, getting the part chopped off so I can get it back here and weld it and everything. And then pretty much it'll be ready to drop in. So again, as you can see, everything is all good to go, and it's moving right along. So again, it's 4 days from bare block, essentially, to a long block to a full assembled engine. So it doesn't take long. It's just there's a lot of cleaning. That's what takes long. So I get to slap it all together, and it's not gonna look good. But that's not my thing. I like to clean stuff off, and again, weld things. As you can see, I'm not a guy that I don't like caps and block plates. If it's a cap or block plate, that means you can weld it. And again, that's one less thing to pop off and have you surging over it, AFR changes and things like that. So again, this is gonna be day 4 and 5. I'll get back with you guys again a little bit later. Got to do a bunch of cleaning on the chassis to get that stuff in. So again, thank you for tuning in. It's gonna be Dinosaur from Misawa, Japan. See you guys later.